Alrighty, Chris. So today we're going to do D minor slash F major. So in this is the same as all the other ones. The E major we did, D major with E Dorian, all that. You learn a key, you pick one that you like, and you learn them 7 scale blocks. So in D minor, natural minor, it comes from the key of F major. And on the lowest point on the fretboard, we can start with the open E, and that would be E low crane if I go E to E. This is all the notes in F major, all of these. The E low crane is all the notes of F major, except you're starting with the E note of the F major scale and going to the E note, and you get that E low crane sound. Which would be like an E diminished chord. Then you got F major. So your E low crane, all the low crane means is if I'm playing the F major scale but starting with the E note out of the F major scale and going to the E note. That's all. But in that block there's also D minor. And it's also B Lydian is in it. There's also C Mixolydian is in there. I'm just playing from the C to the C, but all the notes are out of the F major scale. If I start with the D, wife's due home any second. She might be here now. Let me see, because the dog just got up to look. Stella gets up to look out the window. Let me hold on. No. Alright, so point being, you want to increase your creativity, and of course you always got your pentatonic. That's a given. But when I think D minor, I could play, you know, any song or chord progression that's got that's C Mixolydian. Or B Lydian, you could play out of that book. You know, so why learning all these blocks? You know, this we're talking D minor and C, F major. Those are the, if you will, no pun intended, major things that are out of there. But there's also C Mixolydian, B Lydian, a B flat Lydian, a G Dorian. So depending on what a chord progression is, you know, I might hear something. You could have just a like a G minor to a C7 or a C. That'd be G Dorian. Yeah, I can play to those 2 chords out of the D minor block, or the F major block, or the E low crane block, all these 7 blocks, which there's more than 7 because they repeat themselves, however many frets you got. So, you know, G Dorian, I could go to the E, D minor, natural minor. Learning the blocks means once you know what key something's in, if something's in the key of G Dorian or whatever's the main theme, that means I can play out of the D minor block, the E low crane block, the F major block, of course the G Dorian, the A Phrygian. Now I'm playing in that A Phrygian, so you got E low crane, but and then I could go from there up again. That just means, okay, and then you got your F major. Learning these blocks just means you get all them notes under your belt, so that when you play to a progression, whether it's whatever, you can use all them blocks to it once you've determined what it is. If it's pure F major, you know, so that, yeah, that's got an F in it, and the 5 chord C, and then a D minor, a B flat major, because that's your 4 chord of F, and that's your 5, C's your 5. You know, whatever it is, you can play out of all them blocks. That's why you want to learn all the block shapes. No matter what key you pick to learn them all, and you want to pick a key and master those 7 blocks in that key, because it's not just, like in this case, like I said, F major. Then you got G Dorian. And A Phrygian. Now you'll notice in any of the other ones, wherever I mention Phrygian, you look at the shape of that, it's the exact same shape as the one I'm about to play now. If it's in E, it's what is it? In E major, it's G sharp Phrygian. If I did a D major, it'd be F sharp Phrygian. Well, if you look at that and you look at the shape I'm going to play here in F, this Phrygian block, that shape is the exact same. It's just in a different key. You move. It's moved for this key now. So when I play out of A Phrygian, I think F major or D minor all the time. When I C Mixolydian, B Lydian, whatever, that's all D minor, F major also. You know. So A Phrygian. Now watch if I go up there and get to the F, then I'll go from there and continue up the A Phrygian, but just go after F and it's F major. If I want to start with the D note out of the A Phrygian block, and go D to D, it's D minor. So learning these blocks gets you into all these other places you can play what you want to hear. And then B Lydian, B flat Lydian. No matter what key I gave you for videos, so in E, your Lydian would be in A. It would just be 1 fret down from this one, but it's that Lydian sound when you go from the B flat to the B flat. So you don't have to play it that way. You can play from the B here with your baby finger, B flat with your baby finger. What? What? You know, and then C Mixolydian, which is, you know, it's the 5 chord out of, you know, the key of F, and that's one of my favorite scales. Alright, so C Mixolydian, then your D natural minor. Alright. So, you know, you learning all them blocks means if you were playing to a track that was in the key of F, in any form, it could be anything that's C mixolydian. Really, all the scale blocks of F are going to work with that. If it was a B flat to an F to a C or whatever. So that B flat, you know, you could play either G Dorian block to those chords. But I can also go to the A Phrygian and also play that. Where am I? There we go. You go into them blocks when you want to find shit, like say for that chord progression. You can go right into any one of them scale blocks of F major, and there's something in there, you just got to feel it out, like I was just doing for in an A Phrygian block. Or I could play in the B Lydian block if I wanted, or the C B flat Lydian, and C mixolydian to this. But I got to find, you know, what I want to start with and end on in them blocks, but I don't have to search for them. I go right. Those are the notes I can use in that to this chord. So for me, I would want to emphasize this, like with a, where am I? C mix. I'm just going from the G note, which would be the same as at the Dorian, and I'm bending right up to that B flat note. And then when it goes to the F, they're just harmonizing to that F. This is an F bar chord. And then I'm going down the mixolydian. I'm just intentionally going to harmonize that to the C chord. You know, you gotta. You know, I'm just using that mixing. I can use the D minor block to that. I just look for what I wanted here, but I know these are the notes I can work with. In that block, those are the notes. I don't have to look for the notes that I gotta use. I just want to work them out to come up with a specific riff. And I don't have to do that B, you know, it's okay to bend right to the B flat or the B flat. But maybe I could harmonize to that B flat with the D note. Watch. So I could actually go out of that D minor to this. so I'm playing out of the D minor block, but I'm playing because I know these chords, this progression is pure F major. That's See, I don't have to search for notes when I hear a track like that. I go all these scale blocks of F major / D minor, C mixed Lydian, B flat Lydian. You know, I could play out of that and just find the notes I want to emphasize so that it sounds impactful to the chords. Now I could just do that to that. See, now I'm up at that E low crane we started with down here. But I'm not playing E low crane. It's you learn that box, so you've got all the notes of D minor or F major and all those other modes we're talking about are in it too. But I can use that block to play to this. See what I'm saying? Or out of the F major block. That's why you want to get all the blocks down. Because then, you know, and there's anything that smells like G Dorian or chord progression or whatever. So you don't want to be stuck just because you learn the D minor. There's 100 other things that you can do with that scale. But it's when you know all the blocks, then you can play all kinds of shit and go into any one of these blocks and do something different from the last thing you did, you know, that kind of thing. So you got E, the low crane scale block. I just call it scale block 7 because the F is scale block 1. Your major scale or chord, whatever key we're talking about, F major, that's your 1. Your G's your block number 2, your G Dorian. Block number 3, we would start with your A Phrygian, it would. You know, so I could play that out of that A Phrygian to this D minor. You know? You know, that kind of thing. So, and then your 4th block would be your Lydian. You can just use them notes in that block or play in that block to D minor. You could play in that block to any one of these modes I mentioned. And then your 5 blocks, your Mixolydian, C in this case. And then your 6th block is your natural minor, D, in this case, D. And then your 7 block would be that E low crane. Over my fingers. So there you go, a quick lesson on that now in D minor / F major. But again, to expand your creativity, you realize that while D natural minor scales doesn't have to just be used with D minor. You could have an A minor chord in a progression, but the A ain't going to be a natural minor scale. It could be A Phrygian. So it depends on what all the chords are in a track. Some of the tracks on YouTube will say A minor, and it ain't fucking A minor. The actual modes that work with it is A Phrygian or Dorian, you know, so